All right, guys. So this is the last pillar of the mobility aches and pains masterclass, and this is just something I have termed as the unrelenting mindset, but otherwise known as adapt, modify, and adjust. So AMA or AAM, however you want to break that down. Essentially, the mentality here is just can we if I run up against an obstacle, you know, whether that's energy, motivation, whether that's pain, whether that's an injury, whether that is, a disease or condition, just taking the mentality that I am never going to quit pursuing, you know, pursuing movement, pursuing exercise, pursuing a better, way of life, better health for myself. And in order to do that, I'm going to adapt. I might, if I have a problem where I can't do an exercise that I want to be able to do, can I find a different way to do it? Do I have to decrease a weight? Do I need to find more assistance? Do I need to use my hands to help me up through a lower body exercise? Do I need to change the angle of the upper body exercise that I'm doing? Can I use a different thing, right? If free weights are too challenging or if bands aren't working, can I do, a machine based exercise? Essentially just taking that mindset and saying, what can I adapt? What can be changed so that I can continue to move forward and continue to make progress, continue to push myself in this way? Modify things, right? What needs to be modified? I use a great example for some of the exercise. So I just have a client who um, broke a wrist, and for some of the exercises what we did was we got her, actually it's right here, one of these things that straps around your wrist, and now you've got a hook, so now she doesn't have to use her hand to grip something, and it allows her to carry with that hand something that's up to 15 pounds. And so that for her is just enough to keep moving, right, to keep going. And she does a lot of work on the opposite side to make sure that we utilize the crossover effect, and her uninjured side is where we do a lot of that extra work. She's pushing that harder than she ever has, and is able to continue to make progress. So having that never quit mentality, right? Do I need to adjust something? Is that this is something that happens on a day-to-day basis. I'm adjusting both up and down, right? My energy changes, my mood, my stress, my sleep, my just sometimes your body just is just different, my excitement. And so when you're going into an exercise session, whether that's a strength session, a mobility session, a cardio session, you're going to feel different day to day. And so I need to adjust. If my time, all of a sudden I run into a barrier where the time is no longer the same. Right now I'm adjusting to, okay, can I sneak, instead of finding an hour for a workout, or 30 minutes or what have you for a full workout, like, can I just find 5 minutes here and there, right? Can I find a few minutes here and there where I can do, a set or two of an exercise? And just having that unrelenting mentality of, I know this is something that's good for me. I know I want what's on the other end of that. I want the results. I want, to feel better, to move better, to be in less pain. I want to be able to do the things that will allow me to do, to pursue travel, to play with my kids or grandkids, to enjoy retirement with my spouse. Those are the things that we want to pursue. So having this unrelenting mentality of adapt everything, modify, adjust, make adjustments, and don't feel like, don't be discouraged when you run up against obstacle, but see it as a challenge. Okay, what, almost this puzzle of, what do I have to figure out to continue to move forward in this direction, and move my health forward. If you are somebody who, this is one of those things where, not every workout has to be, has to have the same energy. Not every workout has to be a fantastic workout. I think this is where we kind of have the 80-20 rule in place, where 80% of your workouts, and these are not specific numbers, there's not a ton of data behind this, but it's good as a reference. 80% of your workouts are going to be average. They're going to feel normal. You're going to go in, you're going to go out. You might feel better at the end, you might not. but you know that over time, it's what gets you to your results. And you're going to have 10% of your workouts that are going to feel not great. You're not going to feel good. This is probably more so early on. You're certainly not going to feel as good. But as you go on and over time, 10% of your workouts are going to be phenomenal. They're going to be exciting. You're going to move a lot of weight. You're going to see improvements in your range of motion, and you're going to have a lot of energy going into them and coming out of them. And that's something to keep in mind, is bear with those hard days, bear with those monotonous days, so that you can see those days that the results come, because those are what is worth the effort and worth the work. So again, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you made it this far, absolutely well done. And as I was getting to earlier, if you're somebody who you really struggle to, you haven't been in the gym as much, you don't have as much experience training, you struggle to put something together for yourself, you go to fitnessforlife.fit/book, and I will put a link in there to make sure that you can book a call directly with me, no obligation, absolutely for free, and we can talk through your current situation and give you some clarity and direction on where you want to head next. And then if we decide, hey, this is something I would like some assistance with, would like someone to walk me through and cut through the questioning and the mystery or confusion, that's my role as a coach. And that's what I do for people, is speed that process up, and give you the support you need to execute, and to continue to modify, to adapt, to adjust, so that you can take the unrelenting mentality and refuse to quit.